balmy day here in Santa Barbara. Not exactly 74 degrees as it usually is. We've had some rough nights with the kids, and the heat is probably getting to everyone. I don't know where you're all at, but I know my mother in Palm Springs has been enduring 125-degree dry heat. Family in Florida have been dealing with what they typically deal with. But, you know, I really can't complain because I'm here with you in Santa Barbara at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern, about to share with you some secrets on how to pass the QuickBooks Online Certification Exam. And this will apply to anybody that's trying to take a test in general. So I wouldn't worry specifically that this is about online. This is really about how to take these online exams and to give you some comfort in knowing some of the stuff I'm going to tell you, you may already know, but you just need to hear somebody say it. So let's get started with today's Webinar Wednesday event. As you know, I'm your host, Eric Greenspan. I am the CEO or Chief Education Officer of StudentMe. I am also the Chief Clever Officer of 74 Systems. I'm an Insightly hero, which means I've been knighted by the folks of Insightly to help others with Insightly installations, and we have been wildly successful. We have an awesome solution for engagement and onboarding and auto, document processing and just everything for accounting professionals. I love it. My clients love it. Set up a free consultation with me. I'll show you how it works. And Insightly is so inexpensive and is so flexible. I've just become a huge fan. Well, I'm also a big fan of QuickBooks Online, and while we use Xero in one company and we use QuickBooks Online for the other, and we do this because we want to learn them both. And I'm not Xero certified yet, but I think I could be easily. But I wanted to take that QuickBooks Online test, and I wanted to take it fairly. And that's what this webinar is going to be about. I took it on my own. I'm not an accounting professional, and yet I've started 4 companies and battled in court with both in unfamily court and in business courts, and with former business partners and a variety of different things. And I have spent millions of dollars on attorneys in acquisitions and things of that nature. So I've learned a lot about accounting, but getting that degree or that certification, as I should call it, was really comforting to me. And I'm going to share with you my experience. Real quickly, 74 Systems. We've made things a little easier for you. We now offer only 4 services, and they are Ignite, Minds, Web, and Workflow. And it's real simple. If you need to find more clients, Ignite is the starting point. Minds is for building content. It's also a hands-on, extra set of hands, if you will, marketing service. A lot of our Ignite clients hire us for that as well. 74 Web is to build that website. And if you need a website, go check out what we're doing right now. We've got monthly plans that can fit any budget. You're stuck for 18 months and the site is yours when you're done. We don't own any of it. We host it for you. We build it for you. It's an amazing opportunity, super inexpensive to get into, and it's yours, a real WordPress site that's yours at the end. You can leave it on our server or you can move it to your own. You can do whatever you want with it. It's yours. It's like nothing else ever been offered. And then Workflow is after we get you lots of customers, which is what happened with many of ours, we help you manage them. So those are our 4 service areas. Learn more at 74systems.com. And then, of course, there's a StudentMe that keeps getting just better and better and better. And you can see here our newly revised member center. The idea is that we're breaking things into the library and resources. We want you to be able to find things like courses and webinars, and then your documents and templates. And there's going to be a lot more there with diagrams and templates, all kinds of marketing collateral and things like that we're going to be adding in. And then resources, the directory and answers obviously are the #1. Answers is our Q&A forum, and you can learn all about it by going into the Member Center and clicking Answers and Support at the top. And it'll take you to a page that looks a lot like this. And as you can see, you can ask all sorts of different types of questions and have specialists in that particular area answer them for you. And you can just have a field day here. This is better than Abo because everything's more containerized in Zendesk as our platform. And it's a wonderful, wonderful way to be notified of answers and responses to your questions. All right. Let's get started. So first, as I always do, I ask you, are you achieving all of your goals? If you're not, you're in the right place. If you are, I hope you're sitting under a tree drinking out of a coconut, because that's what I would be doing. Do you have enough, and I put in quotes, good clients? This is epically important. Are they good clients? Some of you are my clients and you are good clients. And that is the difference. I only work with clients that I truly see potential with and enjoy the experience. Not always 100%, and we've had our share of challenges, but believe me, good clients are out there and you can find them. Do you sleep well at night, or do you toss and turn worried about your day because you didn't get enough done or achieve enough, or you've got too many open items? I'm gonna let the helicopter fly by. I've got my door open. That is probably a helicopter for the fire here in Santa Barbara, for those of you that have been following it. We're not too far. We had a little bit of ash, but it's far enough away to where we're safe. So thank you. A lot of you have asked. And most importantly, are you having fun? Because I always ask the question, do you do what you love? I hope you do. All right, so how to pass the QuickBooks Online Exam. So the challenge is you have to get certain resources, and you need, actually I'm going to change that. That slide should read what you need. Let's try that again. Okay, remember I tell you, whenever you're doing a webinar or a presentation, you keep going. I'm going to clap now to mark this, and then I'm going to edit it later. Sorry if that hurt your ears. All right, so what you need to get started, 3 monitors, and I don't kid. 2 is enough, 3 is better. I have 4. I also have an iPad and an iPhone and an Android on my desk if I need to. Having more than 1 monitor, at least 2, is going to allow you to have the test on one screen and the answers on the other. How many of you know that the QuickBooks Online test is open book? Raise your hands. Okay, good. I'm glad you know that. How many of you, now take your hands back down and raise your hands again if you knew that you get to take the test, and if you miss one of the sections by, you don't hit the 80%, you get 3 more attempts, which means you only have to answer the questions you got wrong. Do you know that? Only a couple. A few more. Okay, not as many though. Okay, so here's the key. Those of you that have taken the test, you know that you get 4 shots, which means if there are 10 questions and you get 7 right, you're not going to pass. But you only have to correct the 3 that you missed, which means you can go back and you can look at those questions. And if you remember what you asked or answered last time, you're 1 away of, let's say there's 4 answers, 25% is already pushed to the side. You don't have to worry about it. You only have to focus on the other 3 remaining answers. And there's usually a good answer and a second answer. Now, I will tell you that on these exams, the questions are not always correct. Or, like any standardized testing, there is a better answer than others. And that's where people get confused. And one of the things that I find people do often is, in talking with them when they take these tests, is they get nervous about it. Well, look, nobody's watching you. Nobody's timing you. You've got time, you've got chances, and you've got resources. They want you to pass. And let me explain something to you. Okay, raise it. Now be honest with me. Nobody else but me can see your hands, and I won't call you out. If you ever wrote down the answers to a test on your hand, your shoe, on a sheet of paper, made a cheat sheet in your life, I know you're all accounting professionals, but if you ever did that, raise your hand. Okay. Shame on all of you. I kid. All right, me too. Now, raise your hand again if you didn't need the cheat sheet after you pulled it, after you made it, because making the cheat sheet was actually the benefit. That's the point here. An open book test allows you to gain knowledge that you've never gained before. I think all tests should be like this. I think the reason they're not is because we don't want our kids to be lazy. We don't want our staff to be lazy. But truth be told, if you have to grind, and I did 4.5 hours, I grind through all the different information I needed to get the answers to do the QBO exam, and I got it done. That is the key. All right, you also need fast internet, that goes without saying, and a copy of QBO, and you've got to have mad Google skills. All right, I won't keep your hands up too much, but I'm really having fun with this. How many of you think you're a good Googler? Raise your hand. Not nearly enough. Yeah, when I asked you if you cheated on an exam, your hands flew up in the air. But when I ask you if you're a good Googler, I get a few. All right, hey, you guys are awesome. I thank you so much for participating. I want to make this fun and interesting. At the end of the day, if you can enhance your Google skills, you will do better on the exam. It's that simple. And somebody asked, what is a mad Googler? Means that you know how to use Google well. You know how to get answers to the various questions that you're going to be asked in this exam. Every single question that they ask you, you can find the answer to through Google or on QBO. Let me show you. Now, again, I'm just a novice, right? I am just a guy that runs a company that helps accounting professionals, and I'm a marketer. So I don't have much knowledge in these types of things, right? I'm not an accounting professional. I want to make that clear. But I was able to pass the exam. And first of all, let me prove to you that I did it. My company, my practice, ProAdvisor. And there I am, certified, okay? It does give me my scores. Oh, look, I got CPE credits. That's cool. All right. Oh, that's optional training. Okay, so that's interesting. So how many of you would do this training prior to doing the QBO exam? Raise your hands on that. Okay. And or use a StudentMe, of course. All right, so here's the thing. So when I jumped in this, I did not do any training, and I know you may find this hard to believe, but I don't watch the videos on a StudentMe about accounting. We produce content for you. It's not something for me. I watch different types of videos. So there are people on our staff that do in our faculty, but I don't because I'm not an accounting pro. Anyhow, all right, so when you're asked a question in the exam, they're going to ask you a variety of different questions. And first thing I want you to think of when you're doing this is I want you to bear in mind that sometimes they're wrong and you know it. Sometimes the question it's just not right. There's something off. And it's not because the folks, and we know all the folks that create these exams, it's not that they made a mistake necessarily, it's that the landscape's always changing. It's cloud software. So what once was in the gear icon is now in company settings. So don't fumble on those. If that in fact were to derail you, move on and come back to that question later and take your best guess. That can be the one that you sacrifice and miss. And if you have to come back and take it again, you'll try a different answer. And if you think you're going to miss a question, okay, everybody take out your pen. This is a big one. If you think you're going to miss a question and it's really challenging, take a screenshot. And then the next time, after you answer it, make your selection, take a screenshot, snag it. Then the next time you come back to the exam, you can look at what you answered and you'll know it's not that one, I'll try the next one, okay? None of this is cheating. This is absolutely incredible good learning habits. This is for you. If we did this with everything in life, imagine what we would learn. And it's a shame because a lot of the information that we had to learn as kids, our kids can get by going to Google or Khan Academy or StudentMe or Udemy or lynda.com or wherever it might be. And yet, so can everybody else. And that's why I bring up the point that the better Googlers, those that can use Google better and search better and can use Siri and Cortana and Alexa. Uh-oh, she's going to speak to us. No, she didn't hear me. Those that use those tools well are going to be more efficient and be able to get answers faster. So keep that in mind. All right, so in Google, we're going to search. Now, I don't have the questions in front of me. I'm not going to bring up the exam. But what I will do is I can tell you from memory, there are a number of things. I remember there's one where it asks you about columns for comparing months and what you're supposed to do in terms of, let me go to my practice real quick. My books. And go to reports. So the question was something related to in your P&L, and this is a blank system, so there's not going to be any data. So in your P&L, there was, you wanted to compare the last 3 months. And when I ran the report, and I had to go into customize to do that, and let's go to redesigned. Wait, we need to get, yes. Turn on redesign reports. By the way, do you use redesign reports, hands, or do you use the old reports? Redesigned, hands up if you use redesign. Did you know they were there? Wow, okay. So there's a whole set of redesigned reports. I actually went with Seth David to Intuit. They flew us up there and put us up for a day to help them with some feedback on it. There's a whole set of redesigned reports in QuickBooks Labs that you can turn on that are way better. They give you a lot more customization. So I think because I don't have any data in here, it's not going to give me a lot of options. But basically, inside of this box, there is previous period, right? So that's one way to do it. Now, I can also run a report by month and have it go from January 1st through the end of May, and it'll do the same kind of a thing. But when it asks me the question how I do that, both are right, but it'll probably say, how do you customize your P&L to show previous period? And it won't give me the option, which is the natural one I would respond to, which is I would just put 1/1/31 to 5/31/26 and show by month. I love that. That's one of my favorite things ever. But it won't give me that option. So it'll ask me various questions. And some of them, are just wrong. They're ridiculous. And some of them are not. And then there's two that you're just kind of beating your head against your monitor thinking it's one of these two. So in that case, what I would recommend you do is try this. Again, this is over on my other monitor normally, and the exam is back here, okay? That's why you need two monitors. So, and if you have a laptop and a monitor, you can do it that way. But this way, you have the exam on one and your research on the other. So I'm going to look in here and I'm going to think, well, I think it's previous period, but it might be previous year because they're both previous. And what did the question ask for? It's vague because period includes, year is included in period, but period is not necessarily a year. It's not specific. This is what we do to ourselves. So what I would do in this case is I would grab Snagit right here. And I would capture this, and I would put this into a file, and I would name it question 7 on section 2, and then I would make my selection and make a copy of that as well. And once I do that, you can see that with Snagit, this is the new Snagit if you haven't seen it yet. So you can just basically grab your images. I don't like this version, to be very honest with you. I think they made some mistakes with it. Anyhow, and you can, maybe drag yourself over here and say, this is the one I selected and whatever. So I'm gonna put that on the other screen. All right, so now that I've done that and I've got that off to the side, I make my selection and then I'll take another picture of the exam question with my answer because I'm questioning this one. I just don't know if I have it right. And then I move that over, I name them the same thing, A and B, and then I move on and I finish the exam. And when I get done, I get 7 out of 10. And I'm like, and I go back and I see one of those is wrong. And I knew it was one or the other. So the next time I answer the other and boom, I pass the section and I move on. Make sense? Okay. Now, the other thing that you're going to hear a lot of is, this is kind of one of those things with QuickBooks, is you're going to hear them use terms that are a bit vague because those terms have changed. QBOA, QuickBooks Accountant Edition, QBO Accountants Edition. You'll hear various things. Different people say different things. I'm not sure the same person goes through and combs the exam. You can kind of tell when the question is from person A versus person B, and I won't mention any names, but I know most of them. So be careful with those types of things. Don't read into them too far. And I'm just going to give you a little hint right now. Anybody use an older browser? Probably not because you're on with me on Zoom, but do you use an older browser and have trouble opening tabs with a new iteration of an application? Raise your hand if you have that problem. Okay, I didn't think so, and I'm glad. But did you know that new window existed under accountant tools? Who knew that? Okay, and I'm guessing you knew that because you took the exam, because I recognize the people that just responded. I didn't know it. I would have never thought in a million years that Intuit would put a new window link for me. But the other day, ironically, I was, as I am right now, in fact, you are seeing Mac OS Sierra. Here's Siri right here in the flesh. Let's see if I can bring her over. I can't. Hi, Siri. She's not listening. Broken, of course. But anyhow, this is the Mac OS Sierra, and it is running, and it's running beautifully. Anyhow, so with that, I couldn't open a new tab in a browser because the browser was hung up. And I'm actually using Chrome Canary right now because regular Chrome is not working well in Mac OS Sierra. Chrome Canary is the future of Chrome. It's always 1 or 2 beta copies away. So in any event, I actually remembered from the exam this new window existed under Accountant's Toolbox, and that was pretty darn cool. So again, if you have reservations about going off and finding the answers, what I have learned about QuickBooks from taking this test is extraordinary. All right, a few Google tips for you in doing search. First of all, if you're searching for something Apple, use Safari. If you're searching for anything else, use Google. And you don't have to go to Google's homepage. You can just put it in the browser, in the URL itself. So let's say we want to find out what is the, I'm going to have to edit that later, undeposited fund. Okay, so the first thing is, what is the undeposited funds account in QuickBooks? It was the question. And you'll notice as I start typing, it fills in. That means somebody else typed it too. That means it's popular. Now, if that's the case, I can continue on and I can say, I can go down here and I say, what is the purpose of the undeposited funds account? About 35, maybe 40%, it's shy of 50%. Percent of the time, I was able to take the entire question, put it into a Google Chrome search, and find my way to the answer. Ironically, 2 times the answer came from schoolofbookkeeping.com, aka StudentMe. Several times it came from Sleater Group's work. Other times it came from other people in the industry. I did not, but I could have gone to Abo and asked the question. I could have also, and here's a big secret for those of you because you're all members of StudentMe, I could have gone to Answers on the StudentMe Answers page, and I could have asked the question there and had somebody explain it. Now, yesterday in the Answers forums, we had a question that I posed some time ago, and it was a true question. As you can see, the undeposited funds, we're going to stay on that. Anyway, I put it in general bookkeeping. We just added Jessica Rubin King, who's answering questions, and she answered my undeposited funds account question for me. Now, this was not for the exam. It was from the exam. And look at her answer. In QBO, undeposited funds is like an envelope. It keeps unrecorded deposits in one place until the funds are actually deposited into the bank. I used to tell people that a hard drive was like a drawer in your desk. You'd pull out the drawer, pull the files out of the drawer, which is the hard drive, put them on top of the desk, which is your RAM, work on them until your desk was full because you only had so much RAM, then put them back into the drawer and bring out different things, and you'd swap them back and forth, and that's what the swap file is. Her analogy to an envelope made me have an aha moment. First of all, I want to say thank you to Jessica for that. But this is a great answer. I would love to get yours. And I've never done this before, but I'm going to ask all of you to do homework. You are officially in the Ignite program. This is what we do in Ignite. On Monday, we're actually having a special Ignite, free live Ignite webinar for everybody, the public. And we assign homework, and homework is something that you're going to actually do to help benefit yourself. But in this case, I would love for any of you that wish to email eric@studentme.com and answer, what is the undeposited funds account in QuickBooks and what is it for? I would love to get your answer. I'd like to hear your wording. Anyhow, so going back to Google, so as you see, I typed this. Now, if I continue typing, something like that, it's not going to help me. Nobody has searched for that. Now, if I go ahead and click enter, I'm probably still going to find the answers. And there's a variety of them. Here's one in Intuit's site. And again, when you're Googling, you want to know what you're looking for. Now, the first thing I want you to see is down here at the bottom, you can see missing certification. Certification's crossed out. So that one, if certification was a key word, that one may not be a good one to choose. So I'd probably skip it. So is this one at Intuit. This has nothing to do with the certification exam. But here's one from, let's keep going. I see, here's Long for Success. Michelle Long has one. Somehow certification is in her answer. I wonder if she's talking about that. Here's a study guide. So this one's a study. Okay, boom. See it right there? Certification exam. So inside of this PDF somewhere, the likelihood that they're actually priming this well to provide you with study materials that would be in line with the questions on the QBO exam is very high. You see how that worked out? So I'm going to continue scrolling down. I'm going to see, okay, boom. And certified testing centers for the QuickBooks users certified. Okay, that doesn't apply. And then I look down at the bottom and I analyze each one of these. And there's two goals that you have when you're using Google. One is it'll give you the opportunity to rethink what you said or what you typed. And those of you that have an iPhone, if you talk to Siri and ask her to do something, I don't know if you know this or not, but if you did it wrong, you can actually touch on the text that you spoke that she then converted to text, and you can edit it. So if there was one word she got wrong or one word that you got wrong, you can actually edit that word and then get your answer, and then it'll give you options. And in iOS 10, they actually give you, if you didn't mean this, maybe you meant that. That's the same thing that's going on here. The algorithm within Google here is trying to help you get an answer to your question based on what you put in it. Now, the way I answered this, or the way I asked this, it doesn't appear to be giving me a whole lot of value towards the certification exam. So I'm going to try something else. QuickBooks certification exam, undeposited funds. Boom, okay. How do you want to prepare for the Intuit QuickBooks certification exam? How QuickBooks uses the undeposited funds. See, that is probably the place that I would click to learn more about it. Now, I also like this here, and I would definitely click on something Sleater related. And eventually I would get my answer exactly the way I want. So, and I don't have them verbatim, but I think you guys get the gist of what that is. Now, the other thing I was about to say is that when you do this, you look down here at the related searches to kind of rethink and retool in your mind what you're searching for, and your searches will get better and better and better. Now let's search for Google search tips. Tips and tricks. Okay. These, I would absolutely recommend that all of you do this search. And I would focus on really learning how to use Google well for everything. This is much more than about passing the QBO certification. This is about being efficient and getting answers that are out there available to you almost all the time. I pretty much can solve anything. with Google. And I'll give you another example as we close out here. I'm going to show you something. If I have a question about my website, and this is a great example, it's another way to do it. And let's say, for example, okay, first of all, let's go look at the website. So if we look at a StudentMe, I'm going to bring it up in a Safari browser. And I'm going to say, okay, so I'm going to look at this and I'm going to say, search bar, I want a little more padding on the right side of this search bar. This is a search form. This is padding. I know those things. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to search form padding top bar X theme, which is the theme we use to build our websites. And boom, I'm going to get all of these. And each one of these is going to give me a series of answers. And what I love about this is, while this doesn't apply specifically to accounting, it's using Google search. What I'll do is I'll read through this and say, you know, this isn't really going to solve, this I know isn't going to solve my problem. That's not the answer to the question. But you know what? That's interesting. I never thought of that. That actually is useful to me. And by going through this process, I tend to learn new things, both about solving problems and about getting the answer to my question. Okay. Before I wrap, I'm going to ask, do we have any specific questions that I may be able to answer for you? Go ahead and add them to the Q&A. And in the meantime, I'm going to go back to our presentation. And I'm going to share with you one more bit of information. I want to make sure you all know that on Monday, we're doing a very special event. There's only a handful of seats left. This is a Ignite webinar. It's going to be very similar to this. I actually am considering doing it in the Brady Bunch style, but I'm not sure yet. But we are going to go through a series of things that you can do to get more customers and grow your business and be happier and make more money. And then live from Germany, Carrie Kahn, who's heading to Germany tomorrow, of formerly Complete Business Solutions, is now Complete Business Group. We'll talk more about that. But CBG, you know her, the Complete Business Partner Program. She is going to be our guest from Germany at 8 p.m. at night. It'll be her time. And she is going to help you learn how to upsell QuickBooks, QB payments, payroll, and point of sale, particularly with Revel. And you don't want to miss this, because she's got started with some, and go watch Lynn Matthijs's video at 74systems.com. At the bottom, you can watch the video that we produced. Lynn joined the Complete Business Partner Program and made a bundle of cash in her first month. Her clients got the best deal ever. And Carrie, working with our team, 74 Systems, she's a client of ours, we're actually building templates for you so that you'll be able to email your clients and let them know about new offers and new specials, and not have to worry about writing the email yourself or how you're going to deliver it. We're going to help you market yourself. That is mutually beneficial to both you and Carrie in the program. And as you know, she splits everything 50-50 down the middle, and there's a lot of recurring. Okay, I have a question. If we are already a QuickBooks ProAdvisor, do we have to take all 8 sections of the exam, or can we just take the shorter test for 2 sections? I have absolutely no idea. Does anybody have the answer to that question? If we are already a QuickBooks ProAdvisor, do we have to take all 8 sections? Well, are you certified? Is that what you mean? Meaning you already have a certification? Because the certifications, I believe, have to be renewed every year. And even if they're not, you should, because the system is so different every year. I mean, this is what you do. It's kind of like asking a pilot whether or not they should renew their flight license every year. They need to learn new skills. They need to learn about, new techniques and whatever it might be. So I'm guessing, yeah, you're already certified, current certification. Why would you take it again? If you're talking about, okay, I see. So if you're already certified on desktop, I don't think they have anything to do with each other. I think if you're certified on one, I think they're Antarctica and the Arctic Circle. I think they have absolutely no connection whatsoever. you have to take them all, but that's just a guess. Can anybody confirm that? You can chat or you can put it in the Q&A, either way. Okay, nobody knows for sure, but if you'd like to email me that question, eric@studentme.com, I will get you the answer for sure very quickly. You can also go to answers, and you know, we probably should put certification as a forum, but in the meantime, put it under general bookkeeping. Ask that question there, and one of our faculty members who know all about this, including Carrie, because Carrie, you know, she knows or has connections to just about anybody at Intuit, and if you aren't in her program or don't know her, you really should be, folks. All right, any other questions? Last chance. Nope, going once, going twice. We're running over. All right, I want to thank you so much. I hope to see you all on Monday and also next Wednesday. This recorded webinar, as all, will be posted within 48 hours. There's so much great content at studentme.com/webinars. Just scroll down below the live stuff and you'll see all the recorded. And also, don't forget, schedule yourself a free consultation at 74 Systems. It's free and fun. Come and talk to me. Go there. You can book one online now. This is Eric Greenspan signing off for 74 Systems and StudentMe. It's Webinar Wednesday. I'll see you next Wednesday. And don't forget Monday for our special event at 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. East Coast. Thanks, everyone.